Today I am going to explain lesson number 2, Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. This Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom is an extract or a piece taken from his autobiography with the same name called Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. Nelson Mandela was born on 18th July 1918 in the village of Mebzo in South Africa. In this lesson he provides us information of his early life, his education and struggle for the freedom. He even remembers the sacrifices of his people and tortures, as well as dominance of white people over the black by a system called apartheid. It was a political system where there was a racial discrimination and blacks were treated in a inhuman way, and there were a lot of troubles and sufferings faced by black under this system called apartheid. Seeing all this, when Nelson Mandela raised his voice for the freedom, then he was even prisoned almost all for 27 years. He has undergone many sufferings and pains for gaining freedom for this Africa. This lesson is an overview how Nelson Mandela carved a way to a society where there will be no discrimination at all on the basis of the color, caste and creed. After a period of time, even he joined a party called African National Congress and he became the president of South Africa. And this lesson is a speech, inauguration speech, if not a swearing in ceremony. And what did he speak on that ceremony? Let's see.
10th May dawned bright and clear. For the past few days, I had been pleasantly besieged by dignitaries and world leaders who were coming to pay their respects before the inauguration. The inauguration would be the largest gathering ever of international leaders on South African soil. In this, Nelson Mandela says that 10th May morning was bright and clear with full of hope. He was very glad. That was a day of freedom for South Africa. Nelson Mandela was eagerly waiting for this day for the past few days. There was a huge gathering of dignitaries and international leaders at the swearing-in ceremony. There was a festive mood everywhere. Notable personalities and international guests started congratulating Nelson Mandela for his victory. For the first time in the country's history, so many guests from different nations came to South Africa for attending the swearing-in ceremony. The ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheatre formed by the Union Buildings in Pretoria. For decades, this had been the seat of white supremacy, and now it was the site of rainbow gathering of different colors and nations for the installation of South Africa's first democratic non-racial government. Nelson Mandela says that the formalities of the ceremony took place in a big open building without a roof, which is called as amphitheatre in Pretoria. For a longer period of time, this South Africa had been under the control of white supremacy. Our white people dominated and shown their authority over black. And in the presence of rainbow gathering, that is, leaders of different countries, South Africa's first non-racial government took the charge. On that lovely autumn day, I was accompanied by my daughter Zinani on the podium. Mr. De Klerk was first sworn in as second deputy president. Then Thabo Mbeki was sworn in as first deputy president. When it was my turn, I pledged to obey and uphold the constitution and to devote myself to the well-being of the republic and its people. Mandela says that on that remarkable lovely autumn day, he was accompanied by his daughter Zinani. First, two vice presidents took oath. The second Deputy President, Mr. de Klerk, took an oath first. Then Thabo Mbeki, the first Deputy President. Then it was the turn of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela took an oath as President and pledged to respect and abide the Constitution and to devote himself entirely for the welfare of the country. To the assembled guests and the watching world, I said, "Today, all of us do by our presence here confer glory and hope to newborn liberty out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud." Nelson Mandela addressed to the assembled guests and the watching world by saying that their presence is an honor and it was giving rise to hope for a new beginning. Previous rules were discriminatory and lasted for long. Now, ANC, that is African National Congress, would stand against discrimination and build a society where humanity will be proud of it. We who were outlaws not so long ago have today been given the rare privilege to be hosts to the nations of the world on our own soil. We thank all our distinguished international guests for having come to take possessions with the people of our country of what is, after all, a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. In this, Nelson Mandela considered it as a great glorious achievement that a black person became the president of the country where the blacks were not even considered as human beings and were treated badly. He said he was happy to host a ceremony with the presence of global leaders. There was a time when South Africa lost all its international political relationships for practicing apartheid. He thanked the guests once again for joining the ceremony. He pledged there would be a government which stepped towards an equal society where human beings will be treated very fairly. We have at last achieved a political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience this oppression of one by another. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. Let freedom reign. God bless Africa. In this para, he says his government pledged to liberate people from the bondage of slavery, poverty, deprivation, and suffering. He said, never again South Africa will experience ill treatment, abuse, and inequality. Freedom should rule, and may God shower his blessings on Africa. A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe as a spectacular array of South African jets, helicopters, and troop carriers rode in perfect formation over the Union buildings. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of military's loyalty to democracy, to a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. On the same day, after the speech, after some time, they all witnessed a spectacular and impressive parade and arrangement of fighter jets, helicopters, troop carriers rode in perfect formation. The highest military generals saluted him. Only moments before, the highest generals of the South African Defence Force and Police, their chests bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged their loyalty. I was not unmindful of the fact that not so many years before they would not have saluted but arrested me. Finally, a chevron of Impala jets left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue, and gold of the new South African flag. Nelson Mandela mentions that that day military generals received medals, badges, and position ribbons. He was aware that these commanders who were saluting him would have arrested him under the previous rule as during the white supremacy. He was considered to be a criminal. The air show finally ended by making of the South African flag in the sky from smoke beneath the jets. The day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthems and the vision of white singing OCCKLI Africa and the black singing They Stem, the old anthem of the Republic. Although that day neither group knew the lyrics of the anthem they once despised, they would soon know the words by heart. That day, two national anthems were sung. White sang OCCKLI Africa and the black sung They Stem. It symbolizes the equality of the blacks and the whites. On that day, no one knew the wordings of the anthem of the blacks, but Mandela was very confident that everyone would soon learn this anthem by heart.